She'd been on a solo patrol less than a kilometre to the north and, despite the worsening weather conditions, arrived on scene in less than 2 minutes. Nothing kills and injures more police than attending a traffic accident on a fast road. So the first thing she did was park her incident response vehicle in the fend-off position at the intersection, with its light bar, headlamps and hazard lights all switched on. Then, with that meagre protection from insane nighttime drivers in place, she ventured first to the Volvo to find Robert Weil, groggy but responsive, and then to the Vauxhall to find Alan Frust, limp and seriously dead. After a quick sweep of her torch to ensure no passengers had been thrown clear into the bushes along the verge, she went back to Robert Weil to see if she could help. It was at this point that PC Slat, and I bet she got stick for that name, proved she was a proper copper and not just a uniform hanger with good driving skills. The Volvo V70 is a large estate car, and upon impact its rear door had sprung open. Traffic cop lore is full of gruesome tales of unsecured family pets, grannies, and even children being flung around the back of cars, so PC Slat figured she should check. She immediately recognized the smears of blood on the side panels, fresh enough to still glisten in the light of her torch. It wasn't much blood, but it was enough to make her concerned. She searched thoroughly, but there was nobody in the back of the car or in a surrounding 10-metre area. By the time she'd finished searching, the traffic cops had rolled up in BMW 520 estates stuffed full of barriers, warning lights, and enough reflective signs to set up a second runway at Gatwick. They quickly isolated the lane and got the traffic safely moving again. An ambulance arrived soon after, and, as the paramedics fussed over Robert Weil, PC Slat raided his glove box for registration papers. Before the ambulance could leave, Slat climbed in the back and asked Robert Weil whether anyone else had been in the car with him. He was absolutely terrified, she told detectives later. Not only was he petrified by the question, but he was even more scared by the fact that I was police. It's a police mantra that all members of the public are guilty of something, but some members of the public are more guilty than others. When the ambulance left for the slog up the M23 to the casualty unit at Red Hill, PC Slat was following close behind. While she drove, she was on her radio, recommending to the duty inspector at Force Command and Control that CID have a look. Nothing ever gets done quickly at 2 o'clock in the morning, so it was dawn by the time the DC from the nearby Crawley Nick deemed it worth calling in his DI. They stamped their feet, cursed the early morning commuters who honked and grumbled at the delay, and decided that it was worth making this somebody else's problem. It went to the joint Sussex and Surrey Police Major Crime Team, because that's what they were there for. It takes more than a bit of mystery to prise a senior DCI out of his nice warm bed, so when Douglas Manderley, designated senior investigating officer, arrived at his office, he already had a couple of luckless DCs out at the scene, a DC heading for the West Surrey Hospital to relieve PC Slat, and his office manager had powered up the home suite and assigned the operation a name, Salic. Little did Douglas Manderley suspect that as soon as Robert Weil's name was entered into Holmes, it would trigger a flash I'd inveigled out of a civilian tech in technical support, which sent an email to my computer. My computer then texted my phone, which went ping, just as me and Toby were out for a walk in Russell Square. I say a walk, but actually the pair of us had sloped off through the thin winter drizzle to the cafe in the park, where I had coffee and Toby had cake. I checked the details as best as I could on my phone, but it's not secure enough for sensitive stuff, so we squelched back to the Folly. To save time, we went round the back door through the rear courtyard and up the exterior spiral staircase to the loft conversion above the garage. There, I keep the computers, the plasma TV, the sound system, and all the other accoutrements of 21st century life that, for one reason or another, I daren't keep inside the Folly proper. I got my cousin Obi in after Christmas to fix a master power switch by the door. It cuts off the mains to everything electrical in the loft.